rich. I know you heard this speech already, but I promise I'm the real deal. I have a PhD in finance, and I studied trading. Alas, the kinds of folks I study tend to end up broke. So, whatever your reasons for being here, no part of this talk is intended as investment advice. I half suspect the reason they actually invited me to do this show is that I'm Ukrainian. They must have figured if one Ukrainian comedian can go from this to that, who knows what this Ukrainian can do? My research is in market microstructure, and I'm one of those rare specimen of the rare breed of female finance academics. My research is in market microstructure, and initially the market part of it was pitched to me like this. It's only later I realized the microstructure part of it looks more like that. Well, uncensored looks more like that. Let me come clean with this one though. When it comes to money, I'm a policeman, not a trickster. Markets, you see, need to be policed to make sure human traders are not ripped off by the machines, and my research studies how to protect men from the machines. Let me be fair though, not only men who need protection, women too. On Tinder, when I used to say I worked in finance, all they wanted was my tips on picking stocks. At the time, I used to work at a stock exchange, hanging out with people like this. Now I switched to academia, so I hang out with people like that. Ideally, I separate them at dinner parties. Otherwise, I get accused of being a fat cat capitalist and a socialist, all in the course of one evening. Sometimes they ask me, what is your research about? And I say, well, I study guys who trade. Truth is, I don't really study guys. My Tinder days are in the past, thank God. What I really study is the data which comes out of trading patterns of humans and machines. And who cares, you may ask? I say, well, regulators do. Financial markets regulators, or in simple terms, the financial markets police, care a lot about this key question. Do humans need to be protected from machines? You may think you already know the answer. But as an economist, I've been trained to start with, it depends. One hypothesis is, perhaps, machines are faster, and therefore they are faster to both see and trade on public information, like this piece of news of Donald Trump and his effect on the trade policy in the global markets. Or perhaps machines are smarter, and so they pay attention to actual global markets while humans are busy reading this. So which one is the case? Well, I won't keep you in the dark too long. Researchers have crunched the numbers and found that mostly it's being fast as opposed to smart that gives machines an edge. Fast trading by machines, otherwise known as high-frequency traders or HFTs, can do some bad stuff to slow investors. The good news, though, mostly the machines go after the big fish, small fish investors like you and me can swim away unharmed. Who are the big fish? Think hedge funds, mutual funds, large institutional investors who manage other people's money and trade millions of dollars worth of stock at once. It's because their trading patterns are more easily detectable. HFTs go after these big fish guys. Here's how. Suppose you're an HFT firm trading millions of dollars worth of stock and running all kinds of fancy algorithms trying to make money in the stock market. How do you do that? Well, one way to do it is to get a sneak peek of other people's trading intentions. Kind of like this. Good strategy. Eastern Europe. Yeah. How do you get a sneak peek? Well, you pay the stock exchange good money to place your servers very close to the servers of the stock exchange itself. That's called collocation. Turns out that gives you a few milliseconds advantage of seeing other people's trades a few milliseconds earlier than anyone else. A few milliseconds, it turns out, is enough to detect whether a large institutional investor is buying a whole lot of stock, but faster than them while the price is still low, sell it back to them at a higher price. That's called front running. So, if you're, a small fish, are you safe? Well, mostly, yeah. Because machines assume you to look something like this. In technical terms, it's called a noise trader. In non-technical terms, it's called dumb. So if you're dumb, machines don't mind buying from you if you're selling to you if you're buying. In technical terms, provide liquidity to small investors. Well, are we off the hook then? Machines are not having us for lunch. Regulators can sleep well at night and let the monkeys gamble away. Well, that was kind of the story. I agree with you, sir. And then this new fish appeared on the block. You see, when COVID hit, I was still trying to work out what the data says on this hypothesis of monkeys being ripped off by machines. And then the world turned upside down, and I had to consider this alternative. Perhaps it's monkeys having the machines for lunch. You see, the scariest thing that happened during COVID wasn't exactly this new science of drinking bleach, nor even the new dating trends on Tinder. You would know. I'll tell you what, not even baking sourdough into the shape of Trump's hair didn't scare my guts as much as this one thing, the prospect of being bored. I wasn't alone in my existential fear of boredom. Retail investors, fellow monkeys flooding to Reddit and posting all kinds of crap about a company about to go out of business named GameStop, were also bored. So they entertained themselves by buying a whole lot of GameStop stock for no good reason, like future cash flows, anything like that, but rather out of sheer pleasure of teaching these big shot hedge funds and their fancy algorithms a lesson. Which lesson? That one cannot compete with this ultimate force of nature called human emotion. But we're doing science here. So let me come back to the original hypothesis. Is it true that humans are having rational machines for lunch? After a whole lot of number crunching and textual analysis of the Reddit post during the GameStop bubble, the answer is yes. Human emotion does play an outsized role in swaying prices of meme stocks like GameStop, especially during bubbles. Also, we find machines have this thing in common with the guys on Tinder. And no, it's not just about going after the big fish. It may be, but no, not really. It's different. They're both still catching up on learning about human emotion. But see, you're right. Lots of days, yeah. But let me wrap up here. We learned today that markets need to be policed and that data is helpful in doing so. We also learned that machines are not having common folk for lunch, but common folk are more emotional than most economists would dare to admit. Also, I hope I managed to convince you that the science of finance is fun, and that crunching numbers is a good pastime. Certainly one that saves you from boredom during COVID. Also, whether you're leaning left or right, whether you call me a fat cat capitalist or a socialist, you're welcome to my dinner parties. I don't drink, but do bring some good wine, because a bottle of Penfolds Grange has never hurt nobody, apart from that guy. Thank you so much.
Let's give it up to Marta.